have an announcement to make, and I'm making it in the car because I want to be able to talk full volume and not worry about little ears hearing anything and getting interrupted by my cats. But my husband left his job as memory care director at an assisted living facility, and he has gone back to teaching. I know you're saying, Melissa, that's what we've been saying all along. Tell him to go back to teaching. And all this time, I've been saying why he was not considering it. And then if you were noticing on the comments where people were saying he should go back to teaching, I wasn't really responding to them because at that time he was already exploring going back to teaching. So there are a lot of reasons why he did go back. His now former job was extremely, extremely toxic. At the time I didn't let on much outside of our frustration with his lacking days off and his nonstop work schedule, but there was so much more than just that. And I do hope to make videos about that now that he has left, because I think the more conversations we have about the work conditions as they are now, it's the only way we can go down a path of improving it. And I'm not saying that my little videos are going to cause some great social change, but without these little conversations, nothing will happen. And if anything, it'll be therapeutic. But he has gone back to teaching. A couple months ago when he was starting to explore looking for another job, and at that time it was just looking on Indeed and Glassdoor and just looking for anything and applying to anything. And there were a lot of scams, a lot of jobs that we've later found out were commission only after, 6 or 7 interviews, like blatant lies, strangeness. It was just so disheartening and frustrating, as everyone is experiencing in the country. And then he has started to apply to some admin jobs at schools, front office type jobs, things like that. And when I saw that, I was like, something's stirring within him. And then he came and said, I want to go back to teaching. And that happened the last time he had to take a probationary period when they eliminated the certification program he was in, and he had to leave teaching. When he got a job that he was let go of in between and everything, that year off, it was teaching is what I meant to do. And that happened again this time. He's a teacher. And, he still has students and family and parents who have reached out to him during this time to check on him, to see if he planned on going back. And as awful as the teaching situation is in Florida, the education system, he still feels called upon to teach. I did joke that, his old job was so bad that it drove a teacher back to teaching. Just some humor. So he got some, final interviews with a couple schools, and then those schools were having some admin shortages that they stopped hiring processes. This particular school did not, but there is a massive shortage in our county, to the point where they're still holding job fairs, the school district, and school starts on Thursday. And today is Tuesday when I'm filming this. I'll probably post it on Wednesday, but I'm not sure. But this school, he'll be teaching 4th grade, all subjects, because some 4th grade classes in this school switch. So there's teachers who teach a singular subject, but he will be an all-encompassing teacher. So yeah, and we're going back into being a teacher family again. That's where he is right now with the kids, setting up their classroom. I'm going to Aldi, so when you see my Aldi video, that's why I went to this Aldi. It's somewhat near his school. So yeah, he's taking a pay cut from where we were with the memory care director. But with the hours he was working, the nonstop hours he was working at the memory care, he was making less than a teacher would make if you broke it down mathematically. And so I signed up to do Uber Eats and Shipt, and I'm on wait lists for like others. And my husband has already been a part of Uber Eats, and you know, he always donates plasma anyway, because that's something he really feels compelled to do. I can't, I pass out. But anyway, so we will just have a side hustle, as do a lot of Americans and as do a lot of teachers. But it's worth it. I will admit it scares me, especially in the economy now, but it was getting really scary with my husband at his old job. Really scary. Like I said, I do plan on making videos about instances at his former job. You know, we'll call it a series, and I'll probably only be able to make them full volume in a car when I'm going to Aldi. But yeah, it's not good out there. It's not good for teachers, but I'd rather he be in a job that is treating their employees poorly, but he wants to do it. He's a teacher. Plain and simple as that. It's promising, because at the school he's teaching at, there were teachers who left, but they've returned because they missed it, and wherever they went didn't satisfy them, and they wanted to return back to this school and teach. So that's promising. Yeah. So he's in a different certification program. He's not allowed back into the one he was in, which means now we have to pay for classes and things, which is not pleasant, but it is what it is. He did some trainings this week. There are a lot of changes in this year, and I'm not talking just education. I'm just talking how the district is running things. I think my husband was not alone in the paperwork shuffle that made him lose his job, and the district saw they had to make some changes, and I'm glad they did. I'm just glad it wasn't at the expense of my husband or others, but it is what it is. But I've already seen a difference in him. He, while frazzled and exhausted, it is a more content and happy frazzled and exhaustedness. You know, knowing just what our schedule is, knowing when he has off, what his days off are, you know, paid time off and stuff, makes all the difference. You know, we were living when he would get a day off. We didn't know with his old job whether to use it for recreation or to get stuff done, because we just didn't know when his next day off was. And that just made it very stressful. And it was an awful Groundhog's Day. And it was leading to burnout. And when he left, there is nobody original there aside from his boss and the human resources manager. Everybody else is different in their positions. He was hired at the same time as somebody who's working on the assisted living side. So she is now considered the old timer, because all other positions there have had a turnover and changed. There have been a lot of corporate turnovers. It's just ridiculous. And I know I said I was going to make other videos, so I have to stop myself. But he's a teacher. He's a teacher again. So yeah, for all of you saying he needed to go back to that, he did. Okay. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later.